this is for my young cat again, that the women just got him down. Just got him down. Now, everything you talking about is right. You're absolutely right. You're like, the women here, they tear down their house. They always want to find a man's faults. They want to run you. They want to drive you crazy. And then they let these guys that just pump their head full of compliments and stuff to get them to they gain points. You know what I mean? Oh, I'll tell her this today, and I'll tell her that tomorrow, or whatever. And you're right, and they do. They buy right into it. And then you're saying that they don't like good men, but they like guys. They like a certain image. You're right about everything. Right about everything. I'm telling you, man. I'm probably one of the most realest people you know. I don't hardly fake nothing. Ever. You know what I'm saying? I don't always succeed, but I don't always fail either. And I still keep going. And, I'll tell you, I get hit on by women all the time. All day long. And I never respond to it. Period. And it just makes them like me more. Because I don't care. You get it? If you don't care, they like you. Just don't give a fuck. Just don't care. Be nice to them. Be polite or whatever. And if you're a nice guy, I've tested it out. I've tested all kinds of scenarios out. I'm a scientist, And yeah, I'll act like a certain way just to see, within my personality, to see how, if they're going to act to this or that or this or that. And you're right. If you be yourself, they don't know what to do. Because they can't deal with that. They can't deal with you being yourself. They want to be able to quantify you. They want to be able to go to their girlfriends and explain you to them. And if they can't gauge you, if they can't think that they can understand whatever kind of role you play, then they'll shy away from you. So that they can go and find a guy, they can go to their girlfriends and they can compare, because women are shoppers in their nature. So they like to compare men. That's why, like, a lot of women today, like, they'll even be married or whatever, and they'll sleep with different men because they like to compare. It's neurotic and it's sick. But also they like to compare shoes or whatever, with their girlfriends. They like to talk about it and compare men. Women that are married even do that with their best friend. They'll tell every single intimate secret that they shouldn't be telling about their marriage. Sometimes it backfires on them too. But they like to compare. See, so how many women are like that today? Most of them are. They just are. Is it positive or negative? From where I'm sitting, it's extremely negative. Because it's a situation where in the culture, in the world, women typically put the values into society. And they're being taught to be valueless. They're buying it, so that's negative, and that's wrong. But they're buying it, so they're wrong about that. In general, they are, What's the solution for you? I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. I have women fighting to get my attention. In the real world, okay? Because, I'm nice looking, clean cut. Keep kind of a low profile. I'm nice, Got a smile on my face, And got good energy, whatever. And I really just don't give a shit. See? So see, what happens is this. When somebody starts that neurotic shit, it's going to have to be them. Because one, I'm a thinking person. And two, I'm a man. I think. So I'm not ruled by my emotions by nature. You see. Now, So, there's potentiality for men or women or in both sexes. So, you can tap into it, yourself on the inside, and you can get an idea of how women think just by thinking how would you think if you were a woman. You can't always realize everything because you're not a woman, but you can get an idea of a lot of it. And women do the same thing. They'll think like, how does a guy think? How does a guy think, or whatever, so they can try to get along with them. Now, every woman ain't this way. Every woman ain't neurotic and crazy. And some of them I've noticed too around me, from just being around me and the way I act. Some of them are starting to wake up and realize that good men aren't easy to find. A good man is hard to come by. It's easy to find a guy that's gonna mess around on him. It's easy to find a thug guy, but I'm starting to see from the women I'm around every day in regular life that they're starting to see that I'm actually valuable. And that, this having a persona or an image of a guy ain't really what is gonna make them satisfied. What makes women satisfied is connection. That's what really makes them satisfied, and it's the connection on the inside. So if a guy can act a certain way to placate and to satiate their external desire for all this neurotic attention that most women need these days, it'll satisfy it for a little while. The sex will satisfy them for a little while. The attention will satisfy them for a little while, and then they'll move on to the next guy, and they'll move on to the next guy, and they'll move on to the next guy. And a real guy, once he figures them out, will leave them. Okay? A real man, once he figures them out, it don't matter who the girl is, he'll just drop them because they'll play these games and stuff, they'll lie, they'll always try to make the guy jealous constantly. They'll always be trying to use their body in control and power ways, with the way they dress and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with a woman looking sexy or whatever, but a woman that gets the most men's attention, really and truly, that really gets the most admiration from men, is one that just ain't scared to be a woman and just realize she's a woman, and don't try to assume and play both roles, and don't always try to one up somebody that might really have some depth to them and know what they're talking about. It's it is a sad state of affairs, I think, because you look at the world around you and you see that the family unit, I agree with you, it's basically gone. And a lot of women, they want to have a baby by a guy that'll work so that they can go out with guys that don't work. It doesn't make any sense, or they just like a guy for his image, because it looks good, and they feel like they can halfway deal with whatever they know he's going to do or whatever because, he presents a good image and looks good to everybody. And he might got some money or something like that. But really and truly, in the end, they're not satisfied because the connection, the real true connection on the inside, is what every woman really, really longs for. So they can have all these external relationships, all these on the surface relationships, but really and truly, what they really desire is the deeper connection. So if you just need to know what your worth is and project that, because a good man is worth his weight in gold. And this ain't necessarily a guy. This is a person that's not scared to be themselves. You ain't got to fit in no role. If, let's say, you can't get no woman because you're being yourself, keep being yourself. Because if you just tap into the confidence on the inside of you, eventually you can get a lot of them. A whole lot of them. Because, you'll start to realize that if you connect to the power on the inside of you, you got the most power.